channel. Today's video is pretty self-explanatory from the title. I'm doing a Gigi Hadid inspired makeup look, and pretty much ever since the moment I laid eyes on Gigi Hadid, I was like, man, I wish I would give anything to look like that girl. She is absolutely stunning. And for the longest time on my channel, so many people would say, you look just like Jennifer Lawrence, you could be Jennifer Lawrence's twin, and I never really saw that, but I ended up doing a couple of Jennifer Lawrence tutorials because so many people were like, do a J-Law tutorial, you look just like her, and so I ended up doing a couple of those. And then the strangest thing happened when Gigi Hadid started getting pretty popular. I started getting these comments saying, if Gigi Hadid and Jennifer Lawrence had a baby, it would be you. And like from different people on different videos. It wasn't like just one strand of comments on one video. It was like people were seeing this in their head and commenting on different videos. And so every time I would read a comment like that, my day would like instantly be made, because who doesn't want to look like a combination of those two people? I mean, let's get real. And so I would comment and I'd be like, can we be besties forever? Yeah, thanks. Thanks for that. Thanks for making my day. Regardless, I actually don't see either of those features in me, but since so many people were commenting and so many people requested a tutorial, I narrowed it down to 3 of her looks. It was so hard for me to narrow down her looks. She has awesome, really classic wearable looks, and so I asked you guys on Snapchat and we narrowed it down to 3 looks, but this is just the one I chose. It was from a red carpet event. I don't even know the time frame, but it's very monochromatic, very apricot toned, and very glowy. Love the way it turned out. So pull out any of those tones that you have if you want to recreate this look, and let's go ahead and get started.
Alright, I am starting out with my Makeup Forever Hydrating Primer. You could honestly use any primer you have in your collection. It really does not matter for this particular look. For my foundation, I'm using the BECCA Aqua Luminous foundation with the BECCA the One Perfecting brush. It's a really odd looking brush, but it works really nicely with this particular foundation. I always use these two together, and it makes your foundation application super quick. I haven't tried this brush with other foundations, but for this particular look, you want a foundation that's really glowy and really luminous. Her skin gave off that just really hydrated, glowy vibe, so make sure you pick out a foundation if you are recreating this look that does have a dewy finish. Next up, I'm taking my Pro Sculpting palette from Makeup Forever, and I'm picking up the lightest shade in there, and I'm patting that underneath my eyes. You can see I'm going for a really dramatic under eye highlight. I normally never do under eye highlights this bright, but Gigi was actually a little bit paler in the photo that I chose of her than what she normally is in other photos, and so I kind of wanted to tone down my actual skin tone because I was self-tanned. So I just went in with that really bright under eye highlight, and I'm going to blend it out with the Beauty Blender. FYI, would not suggest using the Beauty Blender with this particular product. They didn't seem to mesh together, and I actually had to go in and use another highlighting product because this Beauty Blender just ate up all of my highlighter. So I went back in with my MAC Prep and Prime pen in the shade Rose Radiance and just blended that out with my regular foundation brush. Now I'm picking up the actual contour shade from this palette and taking an angled brush and just contouring my cheeks and my forehead, the usual routine. Gigi has a little bit more of a rounder face shape than what I do, so I honestly probably could have gotten away without contouring, but for this particular look, she definitely had a contour, and she has a really unique cheek shape. I mean, her cheeks are always just popping. They look so good. So I didn't want my face to be too flat, so I just went ahead and did a normal cream contour routine. You obviously can adjust this to however your face shape is, but this is just what I chose to do for this particular look. We obviously all are not going to be able to recreate Gigi's makeup or face shape 100%, but we can try our hardest. We can try our hardest, fam. I'm setting my under eye area with the matte highlighter from the Too Faced Coco Contour Palette. You really want to use the least amount of powders as you possibly can. She honestly looked like she had no powder on. It was almost like she had been wearing the makeup for a few hours and her natural skin oils were coming through. So it just really looked like her natural skin. So I'm trying to use the least amount of powders as I possibly can. So to warm up my skin and give it more of the like warmer sun-kissed vibe, I'm using my MAC Give Me Sun Mineralized Skin Finish. This is a no-brainer. This is such a great product if you really want to give your skin that warm, almost slightly orange tone. And she definitely, like I said, had a lot of apricot vibes going on, a lot of really warm browns. So this is a really great product to achieve that look. Now I'm using Bobbi Brown's Pastel Peach Blush. I would not suggest this blush. I honestly had nothing in my collection that looked like her blush, and then I realized the actual eyeshadow I'm going to use in a couple minutes I could have used as blush. You really want something that's more of a terracotta, something that's more apricot. She definitely was not wearing a blush like this, but I wasn't thinking at the time, and it's the closest thing I thought I had. For my highlighter, I'm using my BECCA Champagne Pop highlighter. She had a definite strong highlighter, so use whatever you have in your collection that is going to give you the biggest glow possible. Obviously, Gigi Hadid has very iconic eyebrows. They're very long and rounded and untamed. They just look absolutely perfect, and so it's going to be really hard to achieve that if you don't have a similar brow shape or style to her. So what I did was I just made sure that I had a nice clean edge, and I rounded off my arch a little bit more. Her eyebrows are a lot longer than mine, but they're also a lot more rounded than mine. So what I did was you can see I'm going in right here, and I tried to make the arch a little bit more rounded than what I normally would. Make sure you give your brows a good brush, and that's going to make them look a little bit more untamed and a little bit more unruly. So now we're going to move on to the eyes. The eyes were very simple. Just make sure you have more of an orange base shadow. You could use something like MAC's Bamboo, Makeup Geek Peach Smoothie. I'm using a Buxom shadow from their new Suede palette. I will have the name listed down below, but it was very similar to what she was wearing. My shadow may be a bit darker, but there was actually a lighter shade in that palette that I'm using that I could have went in and used, but I like this tone a little bit better, and I think it suited my actual skin tone better, so I just went ahead and used it. So I'm just buffing that back and forth in the crease. You really just want to have a nicely diffused crease, and that's pretty much it for the eyes. All you have to do is go in with a nice shimmering champagne color. So I'm taking the Laura Mercier Caviar stick in the shade Sugar Frost, and I'm applying that to my inner corner. She had a really strong inner corner highlight. It was definitely a cream shadow of some sort, and I just made sure to apply that pretty heavily to my inner corner. Now I'm just tightlining with my usual liner, which is MAC's Teddy Liner, and moving on to lashes. She was wearing very spiky lashes, and those just do not work on me, but I worked with it, and I found a style that I had in my collection called Bambi from House of Lashes. They do not work the best for my eye shape, but I worked with it. Another thing I did differently that I never do is wear white eyeliner. She was wearing white eyeliner on her lower lash line, so I just applied a little bit of the Lancome Liqui-Pencil in the shade White, and then added a lot of mascara to my lower lash line. I'm using my MAC Extended Play Gigablack mascara. Moving on to the lips, I'm using MAC's Oh Honey lip liner. You really want something that's super peachy / apricot. more so apricot. This was the closest thing that I had in my collection. I'm using MAC's Peach Stock lipstick, and I have that in a Pro Lip palette from MAC, but you can buy the individual lipstick if you just prefer to do that. And I'm just rubbing that all over my lips and building up the color. For my actual lip gloss, I'm using NYX Butter Gloss in the shade Fortune Cookie, and that completes the entire look. I hope you guys enjoyed this look. Thank you so much for watching. I will definitely be doing more Gigi Hadid makeup looks. Do not worry. It was so hard for me to choose one. I absolutely love all of her looks. So thank you guys for watching, and I will see y'all in the next one. Bye.